Incredibles 2. Finally saw Incredibles 2. Here's the review. It's not a review. It's my commentary. Now, first of all, I want to say that I'm a huge fan of Incredibles 1. And of course, there's going to be spoilers. Massive spoilers. So, huge fan of Incredibles 1. Why? Well, the story, it's a fantastic story. Really well done. Really well. I mean, these people put effort into it, into making this, every movement, every line, it's all really, really well done. It's a lot of quality. For those that don't know, I'm sure everybody knows by now, but those that don't know, this is not a kid's film. It's a film for everyone, for adults, and it's got enough stuff for the kids to be entertained. But it's actually totally an adult film. There's no, a lot of people don't know that. I'm sure you do. But anyway, it's an adult film, but for those that, because I'm not sure there's some people out there that still look at its animation and the kids like it and it looks all cute and it's got these toys, so therefore must be a kid's film. It's not, but I'm sure you already know that. But let's move on. Now, Incredibles 1, fantastic film, loved it. To me, it was a revelation because I didn't know that these stupid kids films weren't actually kids films. I didn't know that the quality was so good, that the story was so great. There's another animation feature called Up, which there's a scene in Up in the beginning where, I don't want to give it away because it's that good. It's one of the best things I've ever seen in any film. It's so emotional. The very first thing that happens. For those that have seen, know what I'm talking about, and I'm not spoiling it. See Up, man. It's a fantastic, especially the start. I've got other issues with it. But anyway, back to The Incredibles. Now, the first Incredibles was fantastic. The story was great. Now, Incredibles 2, something changed. And here's the first sign of this. The first sign of the problem was that the what's his name? Odenkirk. Better Call Saul. This is the first thing I didn't like about it because I thought, because if you don't know the actors, you can get into the story, you can pretend it's real. But once you recognise the actor, I thought that's Better Call Saul. That's Saul Goodman, man. And he's talking like the way he does, and it's kind of like it's his voice. I'm thinking, okay, so on one hand, he's a fantastic actor. He did a terrific job, obviously. He's brilliant. He did it brilliant. But I'm sorry, I just heard Saul Goodman. That was him. It was Odenkirk, and he did his thing. And also there was another actor who was very identifiable, the one that played the black guy. What's his name? Anyway, I forgot his name. He was in Pulp Fiction. I think that's the same guy. Anyway, so that was a bit of a, okay. And also the other Better Call Saul guy, Jonathan Banks, I think his name is. The guy that plays the old guy. Again, fantastic job, but that's bloody Mike. That's Mike from Breaking Bad. And it was just a bit too sort of, all right, these are actors. And okay, so it was made in Hollywood and they wanted famous actors. It just, I don't like that. I like to think this is, it just reminded me that it's a movie. It's broke the suspension of disbelief. But anyway, back to the film. In a nutshell, the problem I've got with it is that Mr. Incredible, which is supposed to be, and this is the same kind of thing I noticed with Mad Max Furiosa, where Mad Max was supposed to be the man, it's about Mad Max, the hero. That was worse actually because it's about Mad Max, and he ended up in Fury Road. Fury Road? Is that what it's called? He ended up being the sidekick to Furiosa, the true cool star of the show. And here, once again, in Incredibles 2, for some fucking reason, they made Mrs. Incredible be the star. So she's the one that got chosen to be the star of the... Odenkirk chose her to be the face of the new superheroes, which is a bit sloppily explained, by the way, in the plot. But let's leave that aside, okay? Okay, he wanted to promote someone, he promoted her, fine. Let's go. I would have been happy with that. Okay, let's go with that. Mrs. What's her name is going to be the new hero because she doesn't cost as much as the other guy, as her husband, because he smashes things up. And she's going to be more palatable to people to bring it back. Anyway, let's go with that, fine. But the story immediately transitioned to a useless husband who has trouble coping, and gee, a woman's work is not as easy as it looks, is it? And the dad is, so now we're questioning his ability as a father to look after the kids and how pathetically useless he was. And I, insert swear word, resent that deeply. It's like, yeah, how about you do a film showing Mr. Incredible being at home and doing an easy job, and the kids are just fun and just cooking and blah blah, and showing her struggling to make a living. But in this film, of course, the message was that, hey, she was terrific. She's a great superhero. She was in charge, and he's this pathetic dude who's okay, honey, and blah blah, and check this out. He's having trouble. He of course having the cliche things of Mr. Mom. Gee. Let's laugh at those men as they're so pathetic. A woman's work is never done, kind of nonsense. Okay? And let's not forget, two of the kids were going to school, so he would have spent all day with the baby. And the baby sleeps all day, right? So in real life, he would have had an easy time. So anyway, the other thing in the movie was, I don't want to get into this whole thing about, that women, watch TV all day and anyway. So the other thing is this. In the movie, okay, so she's the star and he's the sidekick. We're supposed to laugh at him because he was making a fool. He was the bumbling fool. He was the Homer Simpson. Okay, and in the first Incredibles, he was not the dumb Homer Simpson. He was the guy trying to do his best and life got him down, but he wasn't actually a fool. In this one, we're supposed to laugh at him. He kept hitting his head on things and struggling. And she, though, was the cool one. Now, notice, check this out now. Let's go through the movie. The woman was in charge, his Mrs. Incredible. Notice that the husband who had trouble coping with the baby, who finally was able to control the baby and had an easy time, the other woman, the Chinese lady, okay? She, of course, was the other one in cool and control. Who was the bad guy? The bad guy, evil person, was, of course, another woman. And who the ambassador we were supposed to protect was the female ambassador. And plus, out of all the superheroes that the wife met, the one she clicked with, blah, blah, was the female. And this is the trick. The other superheroes that they hung out with, those up-and-coming ones, if you remember correctly, if you look back, one was the female. Then we had two. One was a little bit gay acting. The other one was very gay acting, the skinny one. Then there was the tall one that looked like a big drag queen. And then we had the black dude who was kind of the sort of ape, kind of the dumb, barely speaking one. But the message in this film is that women are cool, in control, and men are bumbling sidekicks who are not cool. They don't do cool stuff. In control, she was, and even when the kids, what happened was when they finally saved them in the end, the kids rushed to hug mum, not dad. And that's the other thing. So Mr. Incredible, not only was he the useless sort of guy, sidekick now at home struggling, the Mr. Mom was supposed to laugh at him. Do you remember the bit where the daughter comes up and he's like, he was having trouble coping or something, and she goes, "Oh, I just want to let you know you're a great dad, you're a super dad." "Oh, really, honey?" And I'm like, where did this come from? Where suddenly in the story about superheroes we're installing this dad questioning his ability as a dad now, seeking validation from another woman, his daughter, not the son. The son, of course, a few one-liners, we just dismiss him. So the whole thing was very anti-male. Men are dumb and useless, and women are terrific and smart, and and the other thing I was going to say, what was it? The daughter that dad knows, cool. Just on the tip of my tongue. Hold on a second, let me pause it. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say back now. Anyway, so the dad was like the clueless one. The mum was the really in tune. The mum was the adult. And dad was the bumbling sidekick who was just barely struggling to make it through, and we needed to help. Now, before I finish, I want to get into the why. Why are they doing this? Why all this constant male bashing? And I was going to discuss it elsewhere, but I don't have actually a schedule for these videos. I just do them when I feel like doing them. And so I'm going to drop my theory here Maybe I should do another video. Whatever, I'll just do it here in case I die and I never get to do it again. Okay, here's how it works. Because we've got so much divorce, ever since no-fault divorce, women are divorcing men left, right and centre. Or not even, and since we've got the single mum's pension and things like that, women don't even need to have a man. So it's optional to have a man. If you don't like him, get rid of him and you'll keep all this stuff, or half his stuff. Kick him out of the home. The family court will support you. So men now are being removed by women who... and also the government's offering women more jobs and preferential treatments and stuff. So the government's basically substituting is a better provider than what any man could be, unless you're the top-notch man, big buck earning dude. So as a result, you get kids growing up without a dad because the mums are dumping the dads left, right and centre. Okay? If you look at the stats, most of the divorces initiated by women. Correct. Look it up most people look, either people are going to, half the people, I don't know percentage, but a lot of people listening to me are going to be like, yeah, of course, everybody knows that by now. Others might be shocked. YouTube, my understanding is majority male, pretty educated, done a lot of reading. You already know that. You don't need me to prove that for you now. Google it. That most divorce initiated by women. Google it now. Pause if you want. You back? You're back. Okay, so you know that I'm telling the truth. Now, so you have a problem. Because you get kids growing up without a dad and they need to know, gee, why haven't I got a dad? And the answer is possibility. The mum's got to give an answer. Where's dad? How come I haven't got a dad? Why isn't dad around? And the possibility one is that dad is, the dad was a jerk. Dad was an asshole. Dad was a really terrible person. Now that's the problem with that is, the question there was, well, why did you have kids with him if he's so terrible? So she says, well, he's actually a good guy. He's a really, really good guy, but he left. Well, if he's a really, really good guy, why would he leave? He would leave. Why would he leave you if he's such a good guy? See, that doesn't make sense. So the story is that, drum roll, you already know what the story is. So what's the answer? Is he started off good, but then he changed. And of course, that means men are not dependable. And people grow up now, a significant proportion of the movie-going public grow up without dads. And feminism comes along, because the kid's always feeling a bit bad. But feminism comes along and says, hey, listen, don't feel bad, because men are jerks. Men are rapists. They're dangerous. They're out of control. They're psychopaths. They're the patriarchs. They hold women down. They discriminate. They do all these horrible things. There's a thing called patriarchy, don't you know? That's this terrible thing that's just these... So there's a market out there. People in movies, a significant proportion of the population, I don't know exactly what it is now, significant portion of the population who like seeing, they're more comfortable seeing negative portrayals of men because it makes them feel good. Look at this bumbling fool. I didn't need a dad because men are bumbling fools anyway. I was better off without a dad. So if you look in the 70s, the old TV shows like Lost in Space, or in the old movies portraying a good, strong role model dad, a dad you can be proud of. Anything I think even in the 70s, there was a lot of great role models for guys who think, gee, I wish that was my dad. So I think that's why people hate Trump, because Trump makes people feel bad that he's kind of like the dad I never had. I wish I had a dad like that. So the answer must be, why didn't I have a dad like that? Well, must be because mum can't be a jerk. Mum must be a good person. Trump can't be real, because if he's real, then mum could have had a guy like that and I missed out. So therefore, Trump must be he's tricking us. He's lying. He's deceiving. He's an evil, horrible person. Mum didn't have a choice, and I'm better off without a dad. Better off if I didn't have a Trump, my own Trump. So this is one of those movies, just like all those commercials, which makes a lot of people who grow up, the kids of single mums, who are the feminists, right? That's what feminism caters to. The kids of the single mums makes them feel better, saying, look at that bumbling fool. Mum's in control. Mum is the boss. I didn't miss out on anything, so I feel better now. Because the idea that they did miss out on having a terrific dad is really hurtful. And the emotional can of worms that would open up, the resentment towards their mum. I mean, think about it. I mean, I had both parents. And I can just imagine if I grew up, I can easily imagine if I had just had a mum, I would hate the idea that I missed out. I would want to soothe myself with this idea that, no, I didn't miss out. Men are jerks. Men are pricks. They're dangerous. They beat their wives up. Domestic violence. Women are killed by their husband. I was better off. Believe me. Makes you feel really, really good. And this Incredibles, I think there's this undercurrent which is in a lot of mainstream media now. I don't know what percentage of the movie going public is the children of single mums. Just off the top of my head, people who go see movies, spenders more than savers, so presumably they're more single mums. Whereas the dad in charge, maybe the dads are less likely to spend money on movies. I don't know, I just thought of that just then, maybe I'm wrong. Just trying to figure what percentage of the movie going public are the children of single mums who need to have this constant message that the men are stupid and pathetic and who needs them? So yeah, that's it. I would not feel comfortable if I had a son to see this film, or a daughter. I don't want to see Mr. Incredible. And why couldn't he... Again, one thing in isolation. See, one of the tests I used to see, am I crazy, am I paranoid, am I just making this up, am I completely biased? Is, okay, well, just imagine if the guy was in charge and the hero was a man, and the villain was a man, and the ambassador was a man, and the wife was the one that was shown having trouble and bumbling away, and I mean, I can't think of a scene in a movie where a mother has questioned her ability to be a mother, and some kid, a son, has gone up to the mum and said, "It's okay, mum, you're doing a good job, okay?" And mum goes, "Oh, thank you," and questioning herself that she's doing a good job. I don't know. Can you think of a film like that? I can't. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't like that aspect of it. And finally, I thought the plot was a bit weak, very weak. So this woman, Odenkirk's sister, the parents who believed in superheroes, the dad, they got broken into, and the dad wanted to call the superheroes, and he did. The mum wanted to go to the safe room, and the dad said, "No, I'll call a superhero," which seems like a dumb thing for a dad to do. Of course, since men are dumb, that's exactly what a guy would do. So, and then because the parents were killed by the criminals, this woman, the sister, she blames not the criminals that killed her parents, but the superheroes that didn't come, and therefore she's going to take revenge on all of them. That didn't quite make sense, and she wanted the international convention to... I don't know, she just didn't like superheroes. That was sloppy, and I'm an adult and I have trouble remembering what exactly the logic of that, so I can't see how a kid would get it. But yeah, it's a pity, because the first film is still terrific. I would watch it again. So well done, and it had empathy for the guy. It's important to have role models. People can aspire to and say, yeah, I'd like to be like him. Or the woman says, I'd like to be with her. Unfortunately, anybody watching this film, if you're a teenager or a kid of a single mum, you're going to want to relate more to the women. Who wants to be the bumbling guy? I don't want to be the Homer Simpson. I want to be the cool mum. And I think, I'll talk about this another time, I think a lot of this transgender thing is just men who have been told what men are like, horrible patriarchs, and they think, well, I don't feel like that. I feel completely different. I feel like a good person and a gentle person and a caring person. So I feel like a woman. Unfortunately, I've got this dick and balls here, which does not match my self-image. So I've got a problem here. So I need to get away from this horrible masculinity, which is this horrible toxic thing, and be the real me, which is a good person, which therefore I must be feminine. Ugh. Anyway, to be continued another time. But anyway, thanks for listening. And look, if you're a fan of the first one, go see it. You're going to see it anyway. You've already seen it. So yeah. That's it. Okay, I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Whoa, hold on. I just remembered one more thing. Remember when the mum was, she'd been captured and the husband was going to go save her, the dad? And he went there and you thought, all right, cool. But he gets entrapped by her, which is fine. That was very nicely romantically done. But he was denied his role in saving the family. At the end of the day, he wasn't useful. The kids are the ones that saved the day. They saved the show. And I know it's from a kid's point of view, it's cute. But at the same time, he denied the feeling that the father has a value. What did he actually achieve in the film? What was his actual contribution to the story? If he did not exist, what would have happened? All right, he broke a few things, but then so did a lot of people. The kids saved the day in the end. Anyway, like I said, it would have been nice to give him some form of... And even right towards the end when he was trying to steer the ship and everything, he kept bumping his head and boom, boom, boom. He looked clumsy. A clumsy oaf, barely struggling to do it. And, you know, again, the mum was the cool one. And she got that cool motorbike whilst he was stuck with the baby, which is the photo I'm going to use in this thing. Stylized, by the way, so I hope the copyright people don't get me. I've changed the photo a little bit, just enough to... Anyway, thanks for listening and bye.